Welcome to the Triple D Podcast, Donuts, Disability, and Discourse, where host Michael Leiner talks to the best in the business about community, impact, business, and donuts. Here's your host, Michael Leiner.
I am so excited to be here for another episode of the Triple D Podcast with the guest that we have. Oh, look at that. She's ready too. Tricia McCune. And just tell us a little bit about yourself, Tricia. I'm so excited you're here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be here. I am a foodie. I've been a foodie all my life. Just grew up, like, my grandpa belonged to multiple country clubs, and, like, I would go to these country clubs and there'd be like ice sculptures filled with shrimp and
Oh my gosh.
just this wild stuff. And my grandpa would take me on vacation all the time. When I was like in a high chair, they put a full crab in front of me and gave me a hammer and like literally fell asleep trying to get into this crab. But like,
So from a young age, you
Yeah.
were always interested in
food, like just loved food. And my grandma was such a great cook. Like she would always make, blueberry muffins for Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
now, like, blueberry
I don't
muffins
think
are
of
like a
blueberry muffins
Thanksgiving
with
thing.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
It's weird to me, like, blueberry muffins are, like, so Thanksgiving. And she just, like, whatever she would make for my grandpa, I would eat. I would eat liver and onions. I would eat whatever she made. And she would make 100 dozen cookies at Christmas and, like...
100
Yeah.
dozen,
Yeah.
1,200 cookies.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
insane. So, and she's like, she just turned 92. So,
Oh, where
me
is
and-
your grandma? Does she
she's
live
in
near
she
here?
lives in Maslin. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
where you're originally from,
Yeah.
is Maslin. Okay.
So, me and my cousin are gonna go try and help her make cookies this year, and just.
Is she cooking less than?
She cooks a lot less now. Like, yeah.
It's so interesting that you say that. I want to ask you what a foodie is, but
Yeah.
when you talk about it, so when I think about like the importance of family with food, because
Yeah.
it seems like that's kind of
Oh, yeah, it's big.
it was something that came from your grandparents. When I was growing up, I'm originally from the Detroit area.
Okay.
And my grandparents would have Sunday brunch every single week, and my entire extended family would come over. And, I'm Jewish, so my grandma would make, like, the traditional, like, she would make a blint souffle, and she would make
Nice.
a kugel, which is, like, a casserole with, like, noodles and pineapple and, like, cottage cheese and stuff like that. It's a sweet casserole. It's delicious. And when I think about what my favorite foods are now, so many of them are the things that my grandma, who, by the way,
Yeah.
my grandma's now 93,
Nice.
and she'll still, like, make something that's easy now, but she's not really, like, doing the type of cooking that she did when I
Right.
was a kid. But that's what, like, drew me to it before, and I think
Yeah.
it's, like, the combination of food with family
Yeah.
and the
Well,
feeling that gives you.
I mean, nothing tastes better than nostalgia, honestly. Like,
Yeah, right.
my favorite chef in Cleveland, he was doing a pop-up, and he made this.
Who is it? Who's your favorite chef?
David Kokab.
Okay.
He made this pretzel ham salad.
Pretzel ham salad.
Yeah, and it tasted like my former mother-in-law's strawberry pretzel salad in this just most nostalgic, beautiful way that, like, it hit me on multiple levels. And I went up to him and I told him, this was amazing. A lot of people were too afraid to eat it, like, because it was like pickled ham in there.
Okay.
I ate it, and then I told him about the last time a dish hit me that way, and it was this, like, mushroom souffle type thing at an event, and he was like, yeah, that was my dish. Like,
No way.
Yeah. So, like, his food just, like, speaks to me in that it hits these, like, nostalgia notes from when I was a kid, and it's just really neat. Nothing tastes better than nostalgia. Food is love from that family connection. And
What does it mean to be a foodie? Is it
it's like just like every meal you're thinking about what your next meal is. Like your food has to be interesting. Like you can't just. I cannot eat the same thing every day. Like I
Right.
wish I'm jealous of those people who can just eat the same thing
Oh, my brother's
every
like
single
that.
day
He'll
in,
just
day
eat a
out.
Subway foot-long, like 3 meals a day because it's convenient and he doesn't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, no, I just
Yeah.
can't. It's got to be interesting. I find myself, like, if I went out to bring a friend some things. I have a friend who is she's pretty sick all the time, and she has a lot of surgeries. And so I make her edibles, and she gives me fresh eggs from her farm. Like these are, free range, eating bugs, like the right kind of eggs. Like the yolks are bright orange. So I went out there to give her some edibles. I made her some teas, and she gave me some eggs. And I was out in Burton, and I'm like, I just gotta go find something around here. And I found an ice cream shop, and in this cute little strip of this old village, and was like, what's the most fall thing you have here? And they had apple cider ice cream, and I had apple cider ice cream at Dairy Grove the other day and loved it. So just have had 2 different kinds of apple cider ice cream within the last like week and a half, like
because now there's like an emotional connection to it.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to find something interesting because I found myself out there. Like, what kind of food can I get? Yeah,
never heard of that.
This one, the one in Burton, it was this place called Cheshire's. It had a cinnamon swirl in it and pieces of apple cider donuts. Wow. Like, it had donut pieces in the ice cream. It was wild. And then at Dairy Grove, I got apple cider ice cream. It was the last day of their apple cider ice cream. I got it in a donut with crinkle coat around the outside. It was so crazy. That was one of the best things I've ever had.
Wow, that does sound unbelievable.
Ice cream and donuts. They go together really well.
Oh my gosh, they do. Yeah, they absolutely do.
Yeah.
So, and you're not just an amateur foodie at this point. At this point, this is like your career. It's your vocation.
It's my life. Yeah, I had a food truck in Cleveland for like 5 or 6 years.
Tell me about your food truck.
It was called Walk and Roll, WOK, Walk and Roll.
Okay, I remember seeing it.
Walk and Roll in the Rock and Roll City. I was trying to introduce people to Korean and Vietnamese flavors. When I was a kid, I told you I grew up in Massillon, but my aunt lived in Lakewood when I was a kid, and she used to take me to Manon, this Vietnamese place, all the time.
Oh, on the Detroit Shoreway?
Yeah. So I grew up in Manon, fell in love with Vietnamese food as like a,
I love
tween,
that place,
like a preteen, And I was so sad when it was gone.
Wait a minute, stop for a second. It's gone now?
Yeah, they sold the building, and so the restaurant is gone.
I had no idea that it was gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad. It's just been a couple years.
Okay, because I was like, it hasn't been that long since I've been there.
But my favorite restaurant is still open. Tato is a Vietnamese restaurant in Parma.
Okay.
They make my favorite food. I've never found... I eat Vietnamese food everywhere I travel to, and I've never found a place as good as Tato. It was a mom and pop shop when I first started going there, like 2 decades ago. We've been going there for a really, really long time. And I used to live near there and go all the time. And like I'd show up and my aunt and uncle would be there. Like, it was, the owner would always ask, are you working? Do you have work? And how's your family? And like, they would get, when I first started going there, they had just terrible Yelp reviews because, the lady would grunt, and sometimes she wouldn't let you order certain things because the dad was in the pop was in the kitchen. Everything was made one at a time, so when the food hits the table, it still tasted like the wok. It's just so fresh and delicious. And they're from southern Vietnam.
Okay. So
there's less French influence. While I love French food, there's less French influence in southern Vietnamese food. So if you got like a lemongrass chicken at the Naan, it was covered in sauce. If you get it at Tato, it's a dry stir fry, and it's just phenomenal. So that's what we made on the food truck to try and replicate their Tato's lemongrass chicken, and people loved it.
What was your introduction though to Vietnamese food? Was it just coming to visit your aunt?
Yeah, it was Manon. Yeah, my aunt would take me to Manon every time I came to visit her.
Have you? Do you engage? Do you do like food travel? Like, if you ever?
I do. I'm not outside the country. Yeah. But I do like. Food is the basis of almost all of my travel. Like, there's a Vietnamese sandwich shop in Dallas that I'm obsessed with. Yeah.
What's it called?
I can't remember the name of it.
Okay. You'll have to tell me later.
Yeah, I'll send you. But like, it's owned by a woman. little brother has Down syndrome, and she like puts him to work there, and he's in all her videos on Instagram. I'll send you their Instagram. Okay. It's fabulous, and they're a Vietnamese sandwich shop. And running on limited time, I was only in Dallas for a couple of days, and I got one of their egg sandwiches. So it comes with the knock mom, the sauce. Yeah. And was eating it at the airport, and was just like, if I lived near there, I would have so many sandwiches from there. Just such a good place, and they're super involved in the community, and just I love what she's getting her brother involved with these things. And
so from your travels, how does the Cleveland food scene compare to the food scenes in other parts of the country?
I think Cleveland is amazing. Like, we have so many pockets of like ethnic neighborhoods that are showcasing their old style foods, which is partly why I like Goldie's, these old fashioned, donuts. I've done food tours in Cleveland a lot, and
do you give the food tours?
I give the food tours.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna have to join for one of those. That'll be awesome.
I once had two ladies from Texas, and they'd never had a pierogi.
Oh yeah.
So the first place I take them is get a pierogi.
Where do you take someone for a pierogi in Cleveland?
Well, I mean, at that time, I took them to Jukebox.
Oh, yeah.
Jukebox makes pretty good pierogies. They've got some pretty good food. But I really like Pierogi Pantry. I think they make really amazing pierogies. Get some interesting combos in their pierogies. They even make some sweet pierogies. They make my favorite pierogies in Cleveland.
Is Pierogi Pantry, is that in Middleburg Heights?
They don't have a shop. They're kind of like a little pop-up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where else? So you put together an imaginary food tour of me. Give me like the best of Cleveland. If I wanted like a Cleveland themed.
Yeah, no, I've done Cleveland themed food tours.
So we're gonna get some pierogies.
We're gonna get some pierogies. Yeah. We're gonna get corned beef, but we're not gonna get it at Slyman's. We're gonna go to Brook Park Road and get it from Express Deli.
I know exactly where that is, and I don't think I ever would have.
Oh my God! Every Clevelander should try Express Deli.
Okay.
It's like 30 years ago, this Lebanese guy comes home to his family and is like, he's an engineer, and he's like, I bought a convenience store, and they've slowly turned this convenience store into just like a deli. And when they're making the corned beef, somebody's job is to babysit that corned beef all day. Like, somebody is with that corned beef all day.
Wow.
And just like the level of service that it's a family, so they give this just. The first time you go there, you tell them it's my first time. They will take you on a tasting tour of the menu. You might leave. They know you might leave because you're full after tasting a little bit of all their specialties, but they still do it for people. And just that level of service it's hard to find. And all their sauces are doctors. Nothing's out of a bottle. Like, they make this. They converted me into wraps. I was a sandwich gal, and they converted me with their Reuben wrap. And they also make a Reuben mac and cheese. That's
Reuben mac and cheese.
Yeah, that's crazy good. So that is just one of my favorite places. They also make vegetarian stuff. So like I've taken my veggie friend there, and they gave her like a veggie Reuben type thing, and she enjoyed it. So everybody can enjoy it. The level of service you get there. It's just amazing. The guy that owns it, his face is with his fun mustache. His face is stamped on every bag, Pierre. And his son is really interesting as well. I'm friends with his son, so great place. I would take you to probably Landmark Smokehouse. Have you been to Landmark Smokehouse?
Where is it?
That's on. It's right across from Lucky's grocery store, Lucky's Market.
Oh yeah, I have been in there.
Okay. Their Montreal smoked meat is just crazy good. Like, your taste buds don't forget what that tastes like. Since I've been through chemo, like, I have a really hard time eating brisket these days, but I will sometimes like just need some of their brisket. It's so good. So and their mac and cheese also is really good. So
it sounds like you're a big mac and cheese person.
I do like mac and cheese. I haven't been eating it lately, so maybe it's just on my mind. But I
got a craving for it.
Yeah, I got a craving for it. Where else? I've done extensive food tours, like filled a bus full of people.
Really?
For Asia Town, because I think our Asia Town is, unless you're going to like New York or like LA,
Yeah.
our Asia Town is the biggest Asia town in a tri-state area. So on the weekends, all kinds of Asian people are coming in to shop from all over the place.
I just wish that it was more walkable there.
Yeah,
Where-
it is. I've done some food tours there that are where we walk.
Yeah.
You can get to some stuff. Like Cocoa Bakery is
I
also...
love Cocoa Bakery.
Yeah, it's also really close to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Rise and Grill closed, but, they used to be right across the street from there. So I would do a tour with Cocoa Bakery and then hit up Rise and Grill. It's decently walkable. All the chefs, I've interviewed a lot of chefs and always asked them where their favorite place is. And I've been told Szechuan Gourmet more than any other place in Cleveland, honestly. Yeah. So the LJ Shanghai,
I love LJ Shanghai. Those soup noodles.
Right, those soup dumplings.
Unbelievable.
Cleveland was not complete until we had soup dumplings.
Yeah.
Like, they're hard to make. Like,
I
love
that you can watch them make them.
Right. I was on Guy's Grocery Games.
Okay.
And when we were heading back to the airport, we got stuck in San Francisco. 7 hours, our flight was delayed. So we ended up going and looking for food and found a dumpling spot. And it was just like all these old ladies like making dumplings, and you can watch them make dumplings. I had a dumpling the size of my head that you put a straw in. Like, it was obsessed with soup dumplings. And, I'm always trying to, like, how can I bring stuff to here that I find in other places? And I'm thankful when people do. People for years asked me what my favorite ramen is, and before they started doing it, I used to tell them, Mason's, like, do you know about Mason's Creamery? It's right down the street here.
Down the street.
Yeah, I started my food blog when they started their mobile ice cream shop, so I was at their first 4 events.
Okay.
And, like, ate their ice cream every time. And so we became quick friends. We ended up in the pilot program of a culinary incubator together, just weeks, like 2 months after I started CLE Foodies blog. And so when they got married the day I did my first food event. I was selling Asian fusion hot dogs and handmade sodas in the basement of the Slovenian National Home.
Oh, wow.
I was so proud. And their friends put together like a little like reception type thing, like a little food get together, and Jesse made ramen. And so I had Jesse's ramen like 5 years something before they
were
ever
selling it.
Yeah, and I would just tell people his ramen is the best. I've done like a tour that I created in New York, just tasting ramen, like just like 48 hours just tasting ramen in New York City. Like theirs reminds me the most of like my favorite ramens from New York City.
Now tell me this, because we've spoken so much about restaurants, other people's food. Mm-hmm. Do you like to cook, bake?
Yeah, I love to cook. I cook a lot.
So what are your favorite things to cook?
So, how much I love my grandma's food. I make her stuffing. I like to make her stuffing a lot. Just at any time of the year is like ultimate comfort food. Might add some tincture to it to make it weedy and like that'll get you cozy and high. I like to make baked goods. I don't know. I make the different things all the time. I've made so many things this last week. Yesterday I made broccoli and green beans, and I, put chili oil, like chili crisp and garlic and soy sauce on them.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Then last night I made turkey and with peanuts in it and soy sauce, and then mixed them all together. And I like to cook a lot of Asian food. I like French food, like make a croque madame or something like that,
Very fancy. Very
I'll get fancy. I used to make the craziest desserts for the Bop Stop. My ex used to run the kitchen at the Bop Stop. I would make cereal milk pot de crèmes.
Wow.
Yeah, those were so good.
That sounds
I made
amazing.
I've made Elton Brown's pretzel recipe about 1,000 times. I used to make pretzel bites all the time. I hand-made the sodas on the truck. We never sold like a can of soda.
Really?
Yeah, I would go to Cleveland Tea Revival. That's where Verbena used to be. And get their hibiscus berry tea. And I just make a syrup out of it and then, put carbonated water with it. When I sold sodas in the Slovenian National Home, I had an apple cinnamon shrub soda. So slice apples, pour vinegar on them, let them sit for a week until it turns into liquid, and then mix that liquid with carbonated soda. And then I made an espresso soda because I was in New York, and in Brooklyn they have this like espresso soda. They call it, the Brooklyn champagne or something like that, or Jewish champagne, I think they call it.
Yeah.
And I was just obsessed after having a few
I love that.
espresso sodas in New York that I made it myself. So, yeah.
I think the thing that always excites me about food, and unfortunately, I don't think I spend as much time appreciating it as you do, but it's such a labor of love.
It is.
When it's done right. I mean, when I hear you talking about the steps to just making a soda, that wasn't even really the focus of your food truck, but each of the things that you had to do, preparing something a week in advance and letting it soak, and you have to love what you do, and it's like it's artistic expression.
It is. Yeah, feeding people is a love. Like, I get so much joy out of just like feeding my partner every night, like making sure he's healthy food that he enjoys, and he's a foodie too. So just you'll see him all over my Instagram. I just love to film him enjoying food, and I've introduced him to so many new foods, and that stuff it's just fun. It's just fun.
So you mentioned something that I want to ask you a little bit more about, just because I think it plays a role in your whole narrative. You're a cancer survivor, not just once. Three times.
Yeah. Cancer taught me life is short and you gotta do what you love. So, it got me on that path. That's like I had thyroid cancer, and that's what made me start CLE Foodies. So, that really kicked everything off. And then the end of 2018, I was diagnosed with uterine cancer, and I had uterine and ovarian cancer. I got 2 for 1. And I had to go through chemo, and that almost killed me. Yeah. But, my partner moved in, and I've just, it's taught me that life is precious, and I don't sweat the little things at all. Like, it's very hard to overwhelm me, or like, I try and take care of myself. Like, I'm right now in a very food is thy medicine, which is why I'm cooking so much. Trying to learn what things I should be eating. There's an organization around here called The Gathering Place, and they've been doing
I'm familiar with The Gathering Place. Yeah,
they do online foods stuff, and I've been watching those and trying to learn. I'm using manuka honey and certain kind of cinnamon that's supposed to be good for you, and just trying to learn all these things and help the food I'm eating be part of my health program.
At the gym that I go to, there's a sign. They've got all kinds of different slogans and stuff on the wall, but one of the ones that just resonates with me that I like so much is food can either be the most dangerous poison or your body's best medicine.
Right.
And, I am guilty of using food. Food is convenient to me a lot, It's, I eat at a certain time, and it's got to be, I'm not like a fast food person, but what's around me that I can get so that I can get back to what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But I want to get to the point where I view everything as medicine, and where it's like, what can I put in my body to give it the nutrients that it needs, the fuel to help me get through my day, to help other people, which is what I do.
Right. Yeah, it can really change your energy and how you feel.
Yeah.
And, I tried to be vegan for a little bit.
And
after cancer, it was so inconvenient. Like, if you wanted a quick meal sometimes, and you're vegan, like, it's just impossible. It's becoming more possible, but, if Squash the Beef could cater my every meal,
Yeah.
I'd be okay, but...
I tried. Even I tried being a vegan. It lasted for about 4 days.
Yeah, I got a little
and,
farther than that. I got maybe a month in.
The problem that I had with it is I felt like I was substituting animal for just, everything says plant, but plant and chemicals.
Right,
and that was like kind of getting to me also. It's like, am I really doing my body a better service by this? And I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to do the best that I can.
Yeah, I was a vegetarian like through high school and a lot of college.
Really?
And I was a junk food vegetarian. I like those frozen build your own potato skin things, and I ate a lot of Boca burgers. I don't know that those are so terrible, but they're not the greatest. I don't eat meat all the time now, but I do some really amazing stuff with tofu. If you shred tofu, I have tofu in my freezer. You're supposed to freeze it to give it a different texture, and then grate it, grating tofu.
Okay, and then what do you do?
Then you just mix it with soy sauce and some hoisin and season it up and make a pulled tofu sandwich. I really like doing different things with tofu.
I love that.
And I think there's definitely a healthy way to be a vegan and vegetarian and a non-healthy way, and
So you said that starting CLE Foodies, is a product of I'm gonna,
do what
enjoy
I love.
life,
Yeah.
do what I love.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about CLE Foodies and how do you choose where you go and what you eat?
Yeah. So, I just wanted to help people learn about places and maybe get outside their comfort zone, eat different things. For a long time I posted every day. I don't post a ton right now, but I posted every day for years and years, and just wanted people to try different things. I've read people eat the same. They pick up the same 35 things at the grocery store. They eat at the same restaurant, and while I love to eat at Tato or Manon all the time, I definitely enjoy trying different restaurants, and I wanted to get people out there and trying different things.
Do you think that consistency in posting every day for a long time was what fueled the success of your brand?
I think I was kind of one of the first to do something like that, and I think it did. I won #1 Instagram 10 times in 10 years, so I was very proud of that. I had a decade of running on top, and I think that helped a ton. I think it helped the truck. I also wanted to, if I want to have a food business, I want to tell people where they should eat.
Right.
So, it helped. And people would be like, don't you wish you had $1 for every follower? And I'd be like, with the food truck, I definitely made more than $1 for every food follower, and it's just, I get fangirled all the time, all these places I go, and, one time I was at the gas station, and this guy's like, you've turned me on to so many great places, and I'm like, well, where, and he's like, La Plaza, can't go to Barrio after that, and I'm like, yes, keep people, I don't talk negatively. People call me a food reviewer, but if I don't like something, I just don't post about it. I don't like to speak negatively about locally owned businesses. Even when when you're in the food business, it turns you off to a lot of particular people and type things. So, but I try not to. At least I don't write down negative things about a locally owned business. That's just not. I don't know. That's putting negativity out there. I don't want to get that back. That's bad karma to me.
Yeah, I get it. I appreciate it. Well, I have loved having you here and getting to know you. And now is perhaps my favorite part of it. It's donut time. We are at Goldie's Donuts in Ohio City. You've selected our donut today.
Yeah.
Tell us what we're having.
So we're having Goldie's sour cream donuts.
You said this is delicious.
This is delicious. It's just old-fashioned, a sour cream donut, as simple as they get, but they do it so well here that it's just divine.
Let's sample it.
All right.
You grab one, I'll grab one, and I'll meet you in the middle.
Ooh, they're stuck together. Oh, no, okay. Wow, they're so huge. Oh, my God.
I know, this is a thick donut.
This is
right?
a huge donut.
All right, here we
Cheers.
go. A little donut cheers. I think you hit on it exactly. It's really a rich texture.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that delicious?
It tastes like the fair. It's got that, fair fried
Yeah.
taste to it. Oh, I just love that.
Have you ever reviewed one of their donuts on your social media?
I've gone to the East Side one
Yeah.
and posted about them.
Yeah.
I actually came here not too long ago to get one of those glazed croissants they have.
So good.
Divine, yeah. And they're making casitos. They've got up on the counter there these casitos.
Yeah.
It's like a Puerto Rican stuffed. Those are so good. So, yeah, I came here to try their casitos. I haven't posted about it yet, though.
Okay. All right. Well,
I have a million places that I've gone to and not posted.
I look forward to watching for those in the future. And again, I'm just so grateful that you gave some of your time to me, so we could chat and I could get to know you. And
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Triple D Podcast. Donuts, disability, and discourse. Rate, subscribe, and tune in next week for more discourse and donuts.